Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania opponent is AJ Styles' new role in WWE. Randy Orton confirms he is on his way out. Randy Orton calls out the WWE. Ricochet takes back his words against WWE. WWE wants to turn Trick Williams face. Terrible news for the 2026 WWE Draft. WWE is facing internal panic as the creative team has no plans for WrestleMania and more. Let's get straight into it. First up, we take a look at AJ Styles' new role in WWE. AJ Styles has been on our lips for the past week. Now, according to a report from PW Insider, Styles' new role in the company has been revealed. Fans were hoping that he would prolong his in-ring career by potentially going to AEW or TNA to face some of his former rivals. However, he seemingly shut the door on ever wrestling again by leaving his gloves and vest in the ring this past week. The Phenomenal One claims he wants to give more time to his family, and his new contract will feature him in a backstage role, likely helping develop young talent. AJ Styles recently took to Instagram to share a rare personal update. The former WWE champion uploaded a photo of himself. In the post's caption, he revealed that he was getting his hair done by his daughter. "What are you doing now that you're retired?" "Well, I'm currently getting my hair done by my daughter." During a recent interview on Uncrowned, Finn Balor said that after watching AJ Styles retire, he realized that his time to hang up his wrestling boots was also near. Balor added that before his retirement, he needed to redeem himself by winning the world title. Seeing him, AJ Styles, retire made me realize, oh, retirement is just around the corner for me too. And you've still got this big stain on your career that everyone keeps asking you, what if? And in Belfast in January, when I lost to Punk for the World Heavyweight title, I realized the time is running out, and you need to fix this quickly. So that's what I'm trying to do. I need to right the wrong of what happened 10 years ago. Not for me, but for everyone else, he added. While on the topic of retirements, Randy Orton also recently confirmed he is on his way out. Randy Orton is indeed one of the best WWE superstars of all time, and has been entertaining fans for decades. Now that the stars who started at the same time as him are retiring, such as John Cena, a big question mark is whether the Viper is also nearing the final few chapters in his career. In an interview on the Pat McAfee show, the Apex Predator talked about how he is about to turn 46 in a few months. He added that he can't take bumps forever, and he is aware that the time is coming, and he doesn't know how many more Elimination Chambers and WrestleManias he has got. "I'm 46 in a couple of months, and, I can't do this forever. I've been doing it for 26 years. If I could do it another decade, I will. The work rate, the way that I wrestle, maybe I could pull that out. But I know that time's coming. So, I don't know how many more chambers I got. I don't know how many more WrestleManias I got," he said. In an interview with Get Up on ESPN, Randy Orton said that before his in-ring career ends, he wants to capture a WWE World title one more time, and it all starts at Elimination Chamber 2026. That'd be huge. I think right now you've got Triple H and myself tied at 14. John Cena, of course, just retired with 17 world championships. You got Ric Flair? I think it's 16. I'd love to get one more, at least one more. It would mean the world to me. I've been around now 26 years. I've been doing this for well more than half of my life. I'm a third-generation wrestler. There's a picture of my father and my grandfather back there, back in the 70s, tagging together. This is my life. This is everything to me. So to be able to be world champion again would be at All Starts this Saturday at the Elimination Chamber, he said. For those hoping to see Orton break Cena's 17 world titles record, here is some bad news for you. While speaking on the Pat McAfee show, Randy Orton was asked if he plans on breaking the record before he retires. The Viper clearly stated that he doesn't think anyone will ever break Cena's record of 17 world title wins. "I don't think anyone is getting more than 17 if you know what I mean," he said. Moving on, Randy Orton also called out the WWE. The Viper made it clear that although he's found fulfillment in helping the next generation, not everyone is willing to actually listen. And that's where his patience starts to wear thin. Orton explained that being a top WWE superstar isn't just about what happens between the ropes, it's about understanding the full scope of performance. There are 360 degrees to this. You're playing to the crowd in the arena, and then you're playing to the people at home sitting on the couch too. There are all these different elements. From there, he admitted that earlier in his career, he wasn't exactly eager to mentor anyone who could potentially threaten his spot. That mindset shifted over time once he realized something important. As far as younger talent goes, in my old age, I've found some fulfillment in helping out the young guys. Earlier in my career, I didn't want to, because I didn't want anyone taking my spot. Then I realized they can't take my spot, because I'm Randy Orton. He reinforced that confidence by acknowledging that even he sometimes needs to remind himself who he is. Sometimes I have to remind myself. I'm human, and I forget. But then I remember, I'm Randy Orton. Let me help these kids out. But then came the part that clearly struck a nerve. Orton described the frustration of offering feedback only to see it go nowhere. You get the occasional one who says, "Hey, will you watch my match?" You watch it, you talk to him, and he doesn't change anything or take any advice. Then you realize, okay, you piece of, you're just doing what you think you should be doing. Still, he gave credit where it's due, naming talent he believes genuinely wants to grow. But then there are guys who really care, like Javon Evans and Trick Williams. I could name so many more. The Viper admitted that while he understands why the curtain has been pulled back, he doesn't necessarily like it. Orton acknowledged that the industry has dramatically changed from the days when wrestlers protected the illusion at all costs. It's hard. It depends on the time of day, you ask me. He explained that in the past, wrestlers committed fully to their on-screen roles, even outside the arena. At first, you think, oh, this is terrible, because there was a time when if you were working with a guy, I'm the bad guy and he's the good guy, we might be bros, but we wouldn't ride together, even if we wanted to. We wouldn't be seen in public together, especially not in the town we were wrestling in. Now, he says, that separation barely exists, and he absolutely hates the fact that kayfabe is truly dead. Moving on, Ricochet takes back his words against WWE. Ricochet isn't doubling down on his anti-WWE comments. He's now walking them back. After previously accusing WWE of killing legacies and draining his love for wrestling, the AEW National Champion has now softened his stance. Speaking to Josh Martinez on February 26, 2026, Ricochet addressed the backlash to his viral remarks and made it clear there's a major misconception about how he feels regarding his time in WWE. When asked what people get wrong about him, Ricochet immediately pointed to the narrative that he hated his entire WWE run. I think the biggest misconception is that I didn't enjoy my time there at all. That's not true. I had 5 years there filled with great memories, great friends, and great moments. That's a noticeable change from his earlier tweets, where he claimed WWE kills the love of wrestling. Now, he's drawing a line between creative frustration and personal experience. He explained that while he may not have been positioned the way he hoped, he still took pride in what he accomplished. I felt like the moments I created were ones where I had to physically go out there and make something happen, because those were the opportunities I was given. But I still made the most of them. Ricochet also made it clear that relationships built backstage remain meaningful to him, specifically mentioning Big E and the support he received during tough periods. I had a great time, I made real connections. I still have friends there that I talk to every day. Even with Big E, I remember sitting in the back talking to him about how I felt, about my frustrations. He didn't talk me off a ledge or anything dramatic like that, but he helped calm me down and gave me perspective. Those were real moments and real friendships. He then clarified that his original criticism was focused purely on the wrestling side of things, not the company as a whole. When I made those comments, I was speaking specifically about the wrestling aspect, not the popularity, not the platform, not anything else. But people run with whatever they want to run with. In the end, Ricochet framed his WWE exit as a matter of creative fit rather than bitterness. At the end of the day, it just wasn't the right fit for me. It wasn't where I felt like Ricochet's fans were getting the best version of Ricochet. That doesn't erase the good times. It just means it wasn't the right place for me creatively. It's a far more measured tone than his earlier tweets. While he still stands by the idea that he wasn't used to his fullest potential, Ricochet is now acknowledging the friendships, memories, and platform he gained during his 5-year run. Moving on, WWE wants to turn Trick Williams face. WWE has been forced to make a lot of changes to its road to WrestleMania plans because the company has been hit by a number of injuries. Bronson Reed's injury this past week on Raw was a massive blow, and it seems they are now about to turn one of the main roster's newcomers into a babyface. According to WrestleVotes via Fightful Select, WWE is considering turning SmackDown star Trick Williams into a babyface after the reactions he has been receiving from the crowd. The report noted that WWE has discussed this move before. It came up ahead of his main roster debut, but after recent reactions, they have emerged once again. Trick Williams recently qualified for the Elimination Chamber match this weekend and could get the same ovation as Tiffany Stratton when she made the trip to Australia for her first Elimination Chamber. Trick Williams has worked as a face in the past, since he and Carmelo Hayes turned face on the April 4th, 2023 episode of NXT, after Braun Breaker turned heel. He has only been used as a heel on the main roster, which could give him a new dynamic. Moving on, there's a very bad Bianca Belair update. Bianca Belair has been away from WWE since WrestleMania 41. She made a special guest referee appearance at Evolution in July 2025, but her finger injury is keeping her away from an in-ring return. Now, more bad news has followed, as ex-WWE employee Jonathan Coachman has shed light on her current situation. Speaking on the Coach and Bro show with Vince Russo, Coachman revealed that he has been informed that the EST of WWE is dealing with a far worse injury than is perceived in the pro wrestling circle. The coach noted that Bianca Belair would remain shelved for a long time before she returns. I did get some information yesterday that, we keep talking about Bianca. Where has she been? We love her. It's been almost a year that her finger, and she did post about this, so I'm not talking out of school here, but Vince, her finger is so bad, and she might be out for an extended period of time is what I'm saying. It is much worse than people know, much worse than people think. Can she work with the injury potentially? Yes. But Vince, this whole thing has taken a whole ugly turn, and I feel really, really bad for her. I really do. A week ago, Bianca Belair posted an update on Instagram, saying she had finally undergone surgery to fix her broken finger. The former three-time WWE Women's Champion also shared several photos showing the extent of her injury and thanked her doctor for fixing her finger. Moving on, Jey Uso calls out haters. Jey Uso isn't backing down from critics questioning his push, and now he's responding directly with a message to those doubting him ahead of WWE Elimination Chamber 2026. The 2025 Royal Rumble winner addressed the backlash during a recent appearance on ESPN's First Take, where he made it clear he's fully aware of the criticism but remains focused on performing at the highest level. Instead of avoiding the negativity, Jey encouraged doubters to see his success firsthand. Man, just keep watching your TV screen. Open your laptop up, put your iPad up, iPhone out. I'll be on there somewhere, Use. ESPN, Netflix, this Saturday, it's Elimination Chamber, man. Pick one, Use. I'll be on there Monday, Friday, too. Stay blessed, man. Stop hating, man. Come to one of these shows. You might change your vibes. You feel me? Moving on, there's terrible news for the 2026 WWE Draft. WWE Draft used to be a major and unique draw for the Stamford-based promotion, with wrestlers fighting for their brands to get new members on Raw and SmackDown. However, the event was missing last year, and reports have a disappointing update for 2026. As reported by Bodyslam Plus on Patreon, the TKO-owned company hasn't allotted any dates for the draft event on its internal calendar. As a result, the promotion won't hold it in 2026 either. Last year, WWE created a transfer window storyline that saw Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest moving to SmackDown from Raw. The main roster call-ups further distributed more wrestlers across the brands, with Roxanne Perez moving to Raw and Julia moving to SmackDown after initially teaming up. It remains to be seen how the company will handle a reshuffle this year. Obafemi has not yet been assigned to any brand, while Jordan Grace and Trick Williams have already signed with the Blue brand, and Javon Evans has moved to Raw this year. According to a report by WrestleVotes, ESPN was interested in hosting the WWE Draft on its platform last year. However, that interest slowly waned and eventually disappeared. ESPN then chose to focus on premium live events rather than the weekly shows of Raw and SmackDown. As a result, WrestlePalooza became the first PLE broadcast on the platform in September 2025, rather than the draft. Interestingly, the Stamford-based promotion can still see a minor roster reshuffle even on the road to WrestleMania. Liv Morgan and Roman Reigns have chosen to challenge the world champions of Raw after winning the 2026 Royal Rumble. This means that the winners of the 2026 Elimination Chamber will challenge the SmackDown World Champions. Thus, if stars from Raw, like LA Knight, Rhea Ripley, Javon Evans, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and Jey Uso win the EC, they could move to SmackDown for the road to WrestleMania. WWE could also reintroduce its transfer window angle this year. It would be interesting to see what lies ahead for the Stamford-based promotion. Moving on, WWE is facing internal panic as the creative team has no plans for WrestleMania. WWE is reportedly scrambling behind the scenes as WrestleMania approaches, with creative plans still unsettled and internal pressure mounting to finalize the biggest card of the year. According to WrestleVotes Radio, WWE officials are dealing with serious internal urgency as injuries and constant changes have thrown original WrestleMania plans into chaos. Instead of having the card locked in weeks in advance, multiple decisions are still being worked out, forcing company leadership into non-stop meetings. Joey Votes revealed that the situation inside WWE headquarters has become increasingly tense as they try to finalize the show. From what we're hearing, there's a lot of panic going on in Stamford right now, and I don't use that word lightly. Panic may even be underselling it. There are constant meetings, constant discussions, constant updates being given left and right as they try to finalize this WrestleMania card. This uncertainty is unusual, especially for an event as massive as WrestleMania, which typically has its major matches planned well in advance. Normally, by this point, A good portion of the WrestleMania card is set, locked in, and everybody knows where things are headed. That is not the case this year. Things are still very much in flux. The delays are creating ripple effects throughout the company, as multiple departments rely on finalized match announcements to execute business strategies. Without those decisions in place, several areas of WWE's operation remain in a holding pattern. This isn't just about creative direction. There are business elements tied into this. There are marketing plans, there are merchandise plans, there are promotional campaigns that all depend on knowing what these matches are going to be. You have multiple departments waiting on final decisions so they can proceed with what they need to do. And those decisions just aren't finalized yet. WWE is now running out of time, and sources indicate the pressure to finalize WrestleMania plans has reached a critical point. These decisions, we're told, have to be finalized this week. There really isn't much more time to delay, especially with WrestleMania being right around the corner. TC confirmed that injuries and shifting creative priorities have forced WWE into making last-minute adjustments across the card. He also explained that WWE's creative team is now working under intense pressure to resolve the situation quickly. There's a lot of moving parts right now. A lot of moving parts, a lot of last-minute changes. And it's forcing them to have meeting after meeting after meeting, trying to figure out what the final card is going to look like. They're working against the clock at this point. They need to get these decisions made so everything else can fall into place. WrestleMania remains WWE's biggest event of the year, and the stakes couldn't be higher. With marketing campaigns, merchandise launches, and promotional efforts all tied to the card, WWE must finalize its plans soon or risk falling behind on multiple fronts. Wrapping things up, Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania opponent is Lesnar returned alongside Paul Heyman, who issued an open challenge for WrestleMania and announced that Lesnar would be appearing on multiple episodes of Raw leading into the event. Despite the dramatic setup, no superstar stepped forward and no storyline direction was established. WrestleVotes Radio reported that WWE's creative team may still be figuring out exactly what to do with Lesnar, despite his major return already taking place. Joey Votes explained that the segment itself raised questions internally about WWE's long-term plans. Basically, it was Paul Heyman promising destruction for whoever wants it come WrestleMania. This just feels like they have no idea what to do with Brock Lesnar at this point. Card continues to shuffle, as everybody's well aware. Maybe the Brock Lesnar decision has yet to become official, set in stone, however you want to put it creatively. So they knew he was going to be in Atlanta, and they said, well, go out there and just issue an open challenge for WrestleMania. He also noted that Lesnar's upcoming appearances could be part of a holding pattern, while WWE waits to finalize his WrestleMania opponent. They did put the dates that he was going to be on the show for the remainder of the time through WrestleMania, about 5 dates, come the month of March. Well, he will show up to Monday Night Raw, and I guess the plan is he's going to stand in that ring and hopefully somebody comes out. The uncertainty has raised concerns about whether WWE will delay revealing Lesnar's opponent until the last possible moment. Do you feel like, I don't know, for the first 4 weeks, he'll stand in that ring and Heyman will cut a promo. Nobody will come out. And then the last Raw before WrestleMania, he's going to get his answer. Going to go all the way to WrestleMania as a mystery? Or will somebody come out right away to start an actual program? TC also expressed frustration that Lesnar's return didn't immediately launch a meaningful WrestleMania feud. He explained that WWE missed an opportunity to establish a serious challenger and warned that delaying the storyline could weaken the build-up. I was really looking forward to what was going to be, hopefully, the kickoff to Brock Lesnar's program leading into WrestleMania. If they're going to do that 6 more times from WrestleMania, that is beyond lazy. That you're going to have an open challenge, and we have to wait till WrestleMania to see who's going to then grow the balls to take on Brock Lesnar. TC also stressed that failing to give Lesnar a defined feud would waste one of WWE's biggest attractions. You're not going to give me any kind of program. You're not going to give me any kind of story, nothing. Just, oh, I want to take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We're going to get a 5-minute match, and that's it. I think that's a complete waste of Brock Lesnar. There better be something on that segment where Brock Lesnar comes out and we get a little bit of something from somebody. If it is Obafemi, if it is a Sheamus, or a Rusev, or somebody, I want a story and I want a program. Joey Votes echoed that sentiment and emphasized the urgency of locking in Lesnar's WrestleMania direction. I think Brock should be in a proper program, so start to build that as soon as possible. Make the decision. Whoever it is, make the decision. With WrestleMania fast approaching, WWE still has time to establish a major opponent for Brock Lesnar. But the lack of a defined feud has left fans and insiders questioning what the company's long-term plan really is. Lesnar remains one of WWE's biggest attractions, and whoever steps up to face him will instantly find themselves in one of the most important matches of the year.